Let's take a look at River Murray Netball now on the Friday Night Sports Show. And the season has wrapped up. There is a brand new slate of premiers all across the competition. And Hannah Lolla is on the line with me to tell us all about those premiers. Hannah, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Dan. Lovely to be here with you for the final time for 2023.
Hard to believe we're already at the end of the season. Seems like it was just the other day that I was calling you for the first time, getting a pre-season preview of the year to come, and we're at the end of the year now, so let's get stuck into these grand finals. And it was a massive day. There were, I think, 10 or 11 grand finals being played on the day, so run us through some of the highlights, Hannah.
Yeah, Dan, it was a massive day, 12 to be precise. The grand final for netball was held out at Tailem Bend, who did an amazing job. Over years, the committee there has strategically developed a plan and created a precinct that's got 4 courts. So, the day was warm but still bearable, and just the setup was great. So we started with our little sub-juniors, so our littlest ones, and Mypolonga had a good win there, 31 to Jervois 16. Similar lineup in the sub-junior twos, Mypolonga playing Jervois again, and Mypo got that one 42 to 17. Good to see the depth in that sub-juniors at both of those clubs. Then we moved up to the junior twos, and this was where Mallee Storm, so new club in this season, had a really good victory, 41 against Jervois 21. Pretty big excitement from the Mallee in taking home a premiership in their first season. And then a great match in the junior ones with Mypo 30 beating Tailem Bend 28. So this is the junior ones is like the 13 and under girls, and lots of talent on the courts and really tight match. So that was great. Moved on to Imps 3, and this was where Imps as a powerhouse club took over from Mypo in sort of starring in most of these matches. And so Imps 39 defeated Storm 35 in the Inters 3. That was a really good match. Imps 54 beat Mypo 39 in the Inters 2. So a bit more of a difference in that one. And then a fabulous match in Inters 1. So this is sort of the 17 and under girls. Imps 41 beat Storm 40. And that was really tight, could have gone either way. It was interesting to watch. Imps was doing a hell of a lot of player rotations. They had players on and off to keep fresh legs with numbers on their bench, whereas Storm 7 pretty much ran out that match. The other thing that match signalled was the first time that we had some live scoring happening. So Charlie Clossy, our recorder, sat on the sidelines and was doing live scoring, so those who hadn't quite made the courts could still keep up with the game, which was really exciting.
A lot going on there in the juniors, and boy, a lot of really close games there, and very exciting to have the live scoring going there as well. And the intermediate ones, that 1-goal margin, 41 to 40 in the grand final. There's going to be a lot of future A-graders there, being the under-17s, aren't there? That's probably one of the highest standards of play we would have seen on the day.
Yeah, totally. And it's interesting, one of the, pivotal players for Imps, Abby Harrowfield, is the daughter of one of the best A-graders Imps had on the court. So it'll be interesting to see when that transition happens from mother to daughter as Abby heads up through the grades.
Very good stuff. And we just heard from Elizabeth in Great Flinders Netball about a cracking game in the under-15s grand final where it went to extra time and they were still tied at the end of extra time. So it went to golden goal and then you have to win by 2. So they ended up playing an extra 14 or so minutes in that one. And it was the same sort of thing, a real glimpse of some of the future A-graders playing in the older ages of the juniors. So really exciting stuff for the future of netball across all our regions. And well done to all those junior teams on their premierships. Let's work our way through the seniors now. Now we'll finish off with the A grade just for something a little bit different. But the C grade was another close one, 45 to 43, Imps beating Tailem Bend. Tell us a bit about this game.
Yeah, so it was tight and interesting to see. Best player on court for this one was actually Zoe Reynolds from Tailem. So even, 2 goals, you can't see much in it. Tailem hadn't had a win over Imps. I don't like in dry conditions for the season, and probably were the underdogs and nearly got up and got them, but not to be. I believe, though, the Tailem girls still celebrated hard. B-Res, for the day, only 2 matches went to teams that weren't higher on the ladder, and this was one of them. So Ramblers had finished higher, ended up with 37 goals, but Imps took them out on grand final day with 43. So probably a bit of an upset win there. And 6 goals, just pulled away and held their margin. B grade, this was an absolute ripper. One of the last games of the day played, Ramblers 44 to Manham 43. So a goal in it. The pressure at the end could have gone any way. Manham, Ramblers tended to be on top there. Manham kept on coming and coming. And then in A-Res, a little bit predictable result here. Ramblers have had an undefeated season on 61, beating Imps on 56. So Imps had a pretty good day at the office, but the one they wanted to win, probably most of all, slipped away from them. And, Mypo in A grade managed to have a pretty convincing win in the end. So it was Mypo were 59 to Imps 40.
A nice tight slate of games there across the seniors, pretty much until you get to the A grade, and it's good to see in some of those other grades as well. You know, we're seeing undefeated teams who were pushed right to the last minute in close games, and we're seeing upset wins and teams coming from third and beating the top 2 teams on their way to a premiership. So some really good netball being played there, and some thrilling grand finals. But in the A grade, well, the Imperials were certainly looking like the team to beat for most of the year, and Mypo were right there with them. They both only lost 1 game for the year. They played a thriller a couple of weeks ago when the Imps beat them by 3 goals in the qualifying final, but I don't think anyone saw the 19-goal blowout coming here with Mypo getting on the better end of things. I thought we were expecting a close one, but it didn't go that way at all.
No, it didn't. And the lineup, I think we talked about the fact that the last time they met, a couple of Mypo players were injured, didn't play, and got some court time at the end of that match just to see how they'd go. Mypo had the benefit of a really tough match against Storm last week. I think there can be something said for match play, but also Mypo looked amazingly fit and athletic on the court. They had Charlie, their goal shooter, has she's really tall, and she just does an amazing hold. And defensively, they just couldn't match it with her height and her holding ability. And then at the other end, Kate Tucker back on the court for Mypo, added that physical presence. And so Kalari Doki, who is a shooter for Imps, who normally gets a real run on and a drive, couldn't get that because Kate played her really well. It was a goal at quarter time, but then Mypo sort of had the ascendancy, and 7 goals at half time, 11 goals at 3/4 time, and you sort of felt that Imps was never quite in the match. So they rotated their team a bit to try and get some fresh legs on, but Mypo sort of stuck with their core 7 until the last quarter, when I think it was pretty much in the bag, and then they brought some other players on as well, recognising that that's been a real squad effort to take the win. Captain and wing attack Stacey Hine was best on court and really deserved it. The mid-court of Mypo is, the team of the year mid-court, and really deserving Shannon Green, Kelly Altman and Stacey. Great netball to watch when they're out there. Olivia Bolt, who runs centre for Imps, probably played 20 A-grade finals, the number is massive and she's still impactful. But it will be interesting to see, when her daughter might take her spot, because she's certainly playing great junior netball in that 17s age bracket. So Mypo girls got to go home with another medal, so they've won the last 2, and a pretty happy coach in Peter Thomas.
Well, congratulations to Mypo winning the A grade in a canter in the end, and congratulations to all the premiers on the day. The A grade turned out to be a blowout, but there was very good netball played across the day, and it sounds like it was a sensational day Hannah, thank you very much for joining me today, and thank you for coming on the Friday Night Sports Show every week this year throughout the netball season. Really appreciate your time and your coverage of the River Murray Netball Association, and hopefully we'll have you back again next year.
Thanks, Dan. The association is really appreciative of your support of netball and giving us some profiles. So thank you. Chat next year.